Hey there, everybody. This is Paige Libbert. I'm one of the consumer technology specialists here at Mid-Continent Public Library. Any of you who have watched some of our videos before, especially our first MacBook Pro Basics skill set number 1 last week, probably was expecting to hear Brittany today, but she's at home with a sick kiddo. So you're stuck with me. Sorry, guys. I'm going to do my best. So today we are going to talk about Finder, which is just, I think, an awesome navigation tool on your Macs. It is very similar to File Explorer on your Windows computers, but we'll dive right in and go take a peek at everything. We are here on the Mac home screen, the Mac desktop. So we are going to talk about Finder today, like I said. So there are a few different ways that you can pull Finder up on your Mac, and I'm going to show you as many of them as I can. If you're looking at my screen right now, you're probably thinking one of the easiest ways to find Finder is up here, where it says Finder. Surprisingly, you would be wrong. You can find out about Finder, you can mess with your preferences, you can do a few other things, but surprisingly not a quick launch for Finder. So the easiest way for me is down here in the dock. I call this a little two-faced guy. He's the Finder. I'm sure Apple has an official name for them, but I just call him a little two-faced guy. If you just click on that, give it one click, that'll bring up Finder. So this is what it looks like. This is one of the options. Another way to pull up Finder is actually using key commands. So you can use Command F, which if you're familiar with Windows computers, Control F is find. It kind of works the same way. So Command F, it'll bring up this search function, so searching this Mac. You can also do desktop and a few other things. But if you see over here, if I just click on Recents, we are back over in Finder. And that same thing works with Option Command Spacebar. So if you are wanting to just search, just for funds, Command Spacebar will bring up just a general search, and you can do that. But anyway, do the Option Command Spacebar, and apparently do it twice. So I'm just going to go here to Recents. And so if you have worked with a Windows PC before, this probably looks actually somewhat familiar. Because Windows PCs uses a File Explorer, or uses File Explorer. Macs use Finder. They both serve the same general purpose. So on Windows PCs and on Macs, you're using it for navigation and finding things. There are some features that are a little bit different across the things. I'm going to try to point those out. So I'm just going to do a quick little tour here. I'm going to move this down because preferences. So recent is just, it's your recent stuff. It's things that you have touched or clicked on or done something with recently. So if you've done anything with it fairly recently, it's going to show up here. Typically, this one is going to be set up to be chronological. So the first things, like set up, the most recent thing that you tinkered with is going to be at the top, and it goes from there. You can change that around, and I'll kind of do that here in a little bit and show you what it's about. Next thing down is applications. This is one of those different pieces from your normal stuff. So unlike the File Explorer on Windows computers, you can actually launch and use applications straight from Finder, which is super handy. So let's see, I'll launch one real quick. We'll do Safari. So just a double click or the 2-finger click on your touchpad will bring up Safari, and it's pretty much an instant thing. So it just comes up and it is live and good to go. I can interact with it however I want, and then when I am done, I just close it using my little red X up there in the top. But I can do a bunch of things. Some will do iMovie. Some will do this. They'll show up in the dock and they're kind of bounce and like tell you like I'm here. Don't forget about me. And then if you hover over them, sometimes they'll open up, or otherwise you have to click and it'll pop up like this. So just kind of a fun little thing. Next one down the list is Airdrop. Airdrop is unique to Apple, or to Apple products, but works a lot, and I think on Bluetooth. So instead of just like connecting devices, which is what you usually think of when you think of Bluetooth, Airdrop allows you to share most things. most shareable things are shareable using AirDrop. A lot of people use it to share documents and images and things like that across. So you can share instantly with people nearby. I add the addendum of the people is to be Apple people, Apple owners. You're not going to be able to AirDrop stuff in many cases to non-Apple devices, and they do need to be discoverable. So you can see right here, it says allow me to be discovered by everyone. I can change that here. I can also change it in my settings. So you do need to have your device discoverable to actually have anything airdropped to you, or generally to AirDrop. Next one down is your documents. That's just things that you save to your Mac. Generally going to show up in your documents. So that's a good spot to put them. Ours is set up a little differently just because of the nature of how our files and stuff are stored here in the library. So it looks a little bit different, but works the same. Ours just happens to be empty right now. Next one down is your desktop. So if you've played with File Explorer on your Windows PCs, they have the same general function, and it does the same thing. It just gives you access to your desktop files and anything else that's on it, generally. I like it on the Mac a little bit better, if for no other reason than a lot of the Mac stuff looks similar or the same. And by throwing it in here in your Finder, I feel like it's almost easier to find things because everything, you see this on this desktop over here on the right, everything is blue. All the folders are blue. The icons that are on the folders to help you identify them are there, but they're faint. So if you have a really busy desktop, like you just have tons of these folders on your desktop, it's going to be really hard to see. And in here, you can actually do some sorting to kind of make stuff easier to find. So 100% love the desktop option in Finder. Next one down is your downloads. So this is going to be anything that you have downloaded to your computer recently. It's generally, it just goes all the way back. You can move these around into different folders and files and things, but this is where it lives until you tell it not to. And then going down, we have we have tags. So you just have your tags here. Right now, I only have 2 that are named that are visible, but I can change that up so I can see all of the tags here if I want to. So that is kind of just the basic navigation in File Explorer, in Finder. See, it's so easy to mix the two up in Finder. So I do want to kind of show you, I showed you that you can just open and launch an application straight from Finder, but you can also do the same thing with the files that are in here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one right here. So you can see it popped up. I double-clicked I double-clicked because I have a mouse hooked up, but if you're just using the touchpad, it's the 2-finger click. That'll bring it up for you. And I'm going to go ahead and expand. So you can actually see what this is. So most files, or at least images that you launch from Finder, are going to launch in Preview, which is right here. You can still do quite a bit with it. You can zoom, you can minimize. Go ahead and zoom in. Don't really know why. I can share, so that's kind of a universal share button. You'll see that across a lot of devices. If you see that, it probably means you can share. So you can do mail, messages, AirDrop again, so you can AirDrop this file if you wanted to. Notes, add it to your photos and reminders. Depending on where you see the share button, these options may change, or there may be more of them. Right here is your rotate, so I can flip this around if I want to, and then I can click that, and that will bring up my tools for editing, should I so decide. I did want to bring this up if you are familiar with Windows PCs. This probably looks like a very familiar picture to you. This is File Explorer. So this time I'm not wrong. This is actually File Explorer. I'm not misspeaking. I brought this up so that you guys could actually kind of see a comparison between the two. So you would actually get to see a visual of File Explorer and Finder at the same time and see that they are in fact fairly similar. The reason that one is black and one is white is because this was taken without dark mode on and this has dark mode on. So Finder is in dark mode, File Explorer is not. Biggest difference. But if you can see right here, you see your quick access, which has your recent files, kind of matches up with your recents right here. Your AirDrop is not going to be in here, applications not in here, clearly. But your documents, desktop, downloads, downloads. So they work very similarly. There's also some options for network drives over here, which could match up with right here, this network right there. So there's a lot of similarities. The biggest difference for me, aside from applications and AirDrop being right here, is the ribbon. So on your Windows PCs in File Explorer, you have this ribbon to help with navigation and what you can do with various files. They have a lot of those same features over here for Finder. They're just not quite as obvious. So you kind of have to know where to find them to get it to do its thing. So close that up just so you can see. I'm going to go back. So here we are. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger still, just so you can see it all. So here we are back at Finder. I am in the downloads still. I want to show you a few of the things that you can do within Finder, which is super nice. So I'm going to right-click on this first file right here. That you can also do the right-click. That's using the touchpad. That's the two-finger click. I misspoke earlier when I said I used a two-finger click to open the file. It's just a double tap to open it. So just still a double click to open. But if you're wanting to do a right click, that is two fingers on the touchpad to do the same thing. So with files, this is kind of where the ribbon exists in Mac. So you can open, which will just open this up. It's an image, so it's going to open it up in preview. I can choose to open it in other things. So you don't have to open it in preview. You can pick some other things if you'd like to. You also have the option to move it to trash, which I will show you here in a moment. You can get the info, which just kind of gives you the general information for the image itself. So usually file size, file type, when it came, like when you loaded it up, anywhere it exists, that kind of thing. You can rename it, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this one. Cool. I can't type. Cool. Photo. There you go. So cool photo. Renamed it. Done. So super easy to rename. Right click again. Down here you can duplicate, which basically makes a second one. You can do aliases, you can do quick look, you can do copy, you can share. So you can see that this one says share, doesn't have the image, but it's got the same stuff, and now it also has a more. You can do the tags, which are here, and if you want more of them, you can just click on tags here. From there, you can go down to quick actions, which lets you do a few things. Rotate lets you do the markup, which we saw. That's how you can, those little editing tools that were in preview. You can create a PDF of the image itself, do some customizations, and then you can set it as your desktop background picture. So you can do that all in this little tab, which is really, really cool. Okay, so one of the things I did earlier, but I did not mention that I did it, was use one of these arrows to kind of navigate around. So these are your navigation arrows for Finder. You can kind of go forward and backwards for whatever your navigation is. It works just on like this. I can go backwards and go back down. So you can kind of do that as we move across up here. You have basically the display, so how you want things in Finder to display. Right now we're set as list. We want everything to display as a list. You can also do icons, which will just give you, if it's an image, it just kind of gives you a quick view of the image. If it's video, it usually takes a thumbnail. If it's a document, it tries to show you the document itself. You can do columns. So if I click on one, it actually puts it all in a column, and then I actually can see information about the file there. And then if I do gallery, it does the same thing. It just puts the icons down below, and I can scroll through. So I'm going to go back to list, because that's how I like it for some reason. Next one over is this little, I'm calling it a millefeuille, but if you haven't watched a lot of Great British Bake Off like I have, you probably don't know what that is. Go with French pastry. This is a sort area, so you get to sort things. Right now I have none selected because I'm using sorting in a slightly different way. But you can select and move through these, so if I want name, I can do name. It'll sort it that way. I can do the kind, which will sort it by the file type or file version. Application will kind of sort it by generally the application that it was either made with or opens with. Then you have 4 different options for date. So you can do the date that it was last open, which would kind of be that's what it would put it in the recents. Those are usually last opened. So you can go by the date that it was last opened. You can also go by the date added, so that's whenever you added it to your device. You can do the date last modified, which is generally going to be opened as well. But sometimes it actually takes into account any modification that you have done. And then there's the date created, so that generally sits with, like, if it's a file that you've downloaded, that's going to kind of match with your date added, but if you created a folder or something, it'll change up for that. And then, going down, you go by size, which is going to be your file size right here, and then tags. So if you have any tags on any of the things in your files, in your Finder, it's going to pop up like this. So right now I have one screenshot in the Finder video tag. I have 5 of them in these pics and things tag, and then after that everything is no tags, because there's just not a lot of tags in use on here. So just some awesome ways to sort. Makes things a little bit easier to find sometimes. And for a second, I'm going to drop down right here. I said I was using a slightly different sorting option. So this is also a way to sort right here. It'll pop up on most areas of Finder, which is nice. So I can go by name, which throws it alphabetical. I can go by size again, so it's going to go by, file size. Kind is going to be your file type, and then date added, so whenever it was added to this particular area of Finder. So the other thing with this is this teeny weeny little caret right here that I have my mouse going around. That determines the direction your files are going to be organized. So right now it is going down. So when the caret is pointing down, the most recent file that has been added is at the top. So this was the one that was most recently added at 2:24 today. If I flip it the other way, so the caret is pointing up, then the most recent file is going to be the last thing in the list. So the oldest file is going to be first. So it goes that way. So it just changes the direction that you're organizing chronologically. So that's kind of that navigation. All right, I'm going to pop back up here. Again, you have your share button. Same stuff. You have your tags. So right here, I can actually do some tagging. I can assign tags to whatever video I have clicked, or image I have clicked, which is this one down here on the bottom. So I can then add more tags to it if I want to. I can then also click Show All, which shows all the different tags that are available. Then, moving over, you have this. So this is kind of your options menu that would pop up if you were to right-click on a lot of things, or a lot of the stuff that would be in that ribbon on File Explorer. Whoops. So here you go, you can create a new folder, so if you'd like to organize things a little bit better, you can. You have open with, so this is all going to be based on this this image down here that I have clicked. So I can move it to the trash, I can do all the things that I showed you earlier with that. If I don't have one clicked, I don't think I can do it without one clicked. I think there's always one selected. Okay, so here we go, one is not selected, so you can see I can't share and I can't tag. So if you have no file selected, you're not going to be able to do these things. And when I go into this little options menu, you'll see it's a lot smaller. So I can do a new folder, I can open a new tab, I can get info, which is going to give me the info for this particular area. I can do a quick look at downloads, and then you have group, sort by, and show view options. So that's kind of the general navigation. Now, sorry, I'm going to scroll all over the place. I wanted to kind of show you real quickly like what it looks like when you actually like add stuff to your Finder, like how it pops in. So I'm going to move this over here just so you can kind of see. I'm going to put all up Safari. Bear with me for a second. So you can see over here is your Finder, over here is your browser. And we're going to go to Pexels, which is one of our places that we search for images. We'll do toys, because why not? So, that's adorable. So we'll download that. You saw the little navigation or the little animation real quick that it moved it over here to download. So if I click on that, you can see what I've downloaded. I go ahead and close. And you may have noticed it. I feel bad I drew attention away from it. But when I clicked download, very shortly after, it popped in right over here. So it's now here at the top. So that's the one I just downloaded. I can right click on it. I can do all of these things with it if I want to. What I want to do this time is add a tag. So I'm actually going to click on tags. I want to add Finder video, pick some things, and why not? We'll add yellow. I don't know what yellow is going to mean for this, but we'll add yellow. So you can see right here, I clicked on all those, and now it has all 3 of those tags. They are available on that. And now, if I come over here to tags, if I click on Finder Video, you can see everything that has that Finder Video tag is now in this particular area. Everything with the Pics and Things tag is now in this, and then the yellow tag that I picked randomly now has this in it. So I think of tags as a nice way to like create folders without having to create folders. It's a good organization scheme or option, especially if you know that there's going to be certain things that you want to kind of keep in a variety of places but are relevant to 2 or 3 different things, so you don't want to just have to live in one spot or to make 18 copies of it. This is a good way to kind of keep that stuff organized. So I go back to favorites. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you, I guess. There's a little caret here, so you can make things go away if you want to. It depends on your level of interest or disinterest in clutter. Over here at the very end is your search, so you can search within Finder. I'm going to go ahead and close that now, because the other thing I want to show you is not even in Finder. Well, it is, just not actually the Finder feature. I'm going to click on Finder up here in the top corner and click on Preferences. Move that down in here, just so you can kind of see it a little bit better. So it starts out on Advanced, and since it's here, I'm going to talk about it. So this first one that you can check is the file name extensions. It's up to you on that one, if you want to do that or not, if you want to show the full file name extensions or not. The next 3 are kind of alerts, so if you want to turn those on or not. I rarely suggest things. This time I'm going to. This is an extremely helpful feature if you are prone to accidentally doing silly things or not paying close attention to what you might have clicked. It's a good spot so you get a little reminder before you do something that's going to be hard to undo. So this is going to be changing your extensions, or removing something from iCloud, or emptying the trash. All of these are very hard to undo, if not impossible. So they're just basically stopping you from doing something that you're possibly messing up. If you're not, then you just click OK and go ahead and do the thing. The next one is to remove trash items from the trash after 30 days. This is pretty familiar to any of you who are using most mobile devices, honestly. A lot of times if you're trashing stuff on mobile devices, it will live in a trash or a recycle bin for a certain amount of time, usually 30 to 60 days. This just lets you toggle that feature on. So you can say yes or no. If you don't have that on, it will remain in your trash until you tell it to go away, which you can do, but that's just how that's going to work. Just a few other features here. I'm going to click over to General. This is just going to kind of work with your desktop primarily. Tags, this is where you can go to edit your tags. You can edit your tags in a bunch of the other spaces as well, but this is a good place to come. You can also add and remove. So if you ended up creating a tag that you're like, I don't need that anymore, you can remove it from here, which is nice. The big one for me is the sidebar. The options here in this sidebar. This is where you can make some changes. I'm going to open Finder back up, so you can see right here, these little check marks. You've got recent airdrop applications, desktop documents, and downloads. These are all checked. And if you come over here to Finder, recent applications, airdrop documents, desktop, and downloads. So those that are all checked show up over here. All checks show up over here. Sorry, I did it backwards. So if I want to modify that in any way, like, you know what, I'm recording all these videos, I would like to have easy access to stuff, I could check the movies box, and you kind of saw over here, it immediately popped in. And I would then be able to access it from here if I wanted to. If I don't want it there, I would like it's getting too cluttered, I could just click and uncheck the box and it goes away. Locations just popped back in while I was doing this. So locations is over here. That's your network. You're probably not going to be messing with this too much. This is just dealing with all the various things on your networks. If you are using a networked computer for like work, there's probably going to be a lot of stuff in here. If you're using a home computer and you don't really have a private network set up, you're probably not going to have much going on in there. So just keep that in mind. You can also do your iCloud. We just don't have it on there, but you can do that, turn it on, and that gives you access in there to your iCloud. But yeah, that's all of that. And I just kind of wanted to show you that that is a thing that you can do. So that is kind of Finder in a quick nutshell. All right, one more cool thing I wanted to show you while I'm here is this help right here. So you may have already looked at this before, but I've already searched Finder. So when you first pull this up, there's a few options. I have already searched Finder. So you can find out about Finder, you can hide it, you can do it. So this kind of shows you where everything is, which is kind of nice. But if you come down here, you can find all kinds of helpful topics for how to kind of make Finder work better for you, anything that you may see that's a little bit problematic. If you want to learn more about grouping and aliases and that sort of thing, and more about the tags, this is the place to do it. If I click on Show Help Topics, that brings this all up, and then I can do Show All. And there are, as you can see, all help, 222 resources just on Finder alone. So you can spend several hours reading up how to work with Finder and just make it your absolute Mac best friend. So I just wanted to show you that this is a good spot to go to find some really cool stuff. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us today. Remember, if you go find these videos online, please go like the video. Would love to see you at our future videos as well. Find us on Facebook. Just hunt us down at MCPL 360. You can follow the page. You can find all of our videos there. We premiere new videos every Tuesday at 2, every Wednesday at 1, and every Friday at 1. And you can also find us on YouTube. Just do a quick search for MCPL Mo, and you will find our awesome channel. Which, of course, please come subscribe. You can also check out, while you're there, all of our exceedingly awesome technology playlists. We have lots and lots of them, so we hope to see you on all those places. We hope to see you at future videos. And again, thank you for joining us.